Sigmar had defeated Nagash and proved to the world that the Empire of Man would not fall, even to death itself. Like many of Sigmar's previous feats in battles, the peace he afforded the Empire was short-lived. In the time after Nagash's defeat, a war that the world had never seen before would take place. The northern tribes of men, defeated and brought low by the Empire, would stand strong once again from their crumbled state as a new warrior champion would rise. Morkar, the Uniter, had found favor among the dark gods that no mortal had done before. He would become blessed by each of the Chaos gods, becoming the first Everchosen, a warrior swollen with the gifts of chaos undivided. Not much is known about Morkar's unholy war against the Empire. The devastation and ramifications of his invasion would never truly be recorded or calculated. United with the northern tribes, Morkar struck out against the Empire. Cities and settlements were razed to the ground or claimed in the name of the sinister northern gods. So great was the slaughter and devastation that the powers of chaos surged into the realm, manifesting demons to walk the mortal plane. Morkar's goal was a simple one. His promise to the dark gods was to bring forth a kingdom dedicated to chaos, but his promise to himself was to avenge his long-dead clansmen by slaying the warrior who would cause their near annihilation, Sigmar. As the righteous protector he is, Sigmar rode out into the battlefield, fighting back the forces of chaos as best he could. He faced off against the terrible demon skull-taker Uzul, banishing the creature to the realm of the blood god Khorne. Sigmar would eventually rally his armies and face off against Morkar. The two great warriors clashed for a day and a night, each fueled with their own goals. One to exact revenge against a barbarian king who ruined his people, the other to protect his kingdom from the vile predatory forces of evil. Their furious battle was that of gods clashing. The earth rumbled and moved. The sky split with each thunderous blow. The world itself was turning on itself as Morkar and Sigmar dueled. In the end, Sigmar stood triumphantly, but barely. The Everchosen was the closest adversary to nearly defeating the mighty warrior king. With the death of Morkar the Uniter, the tribes of the North splintered and fled back to their frozen lands. Orcs, beastmen, demons, vampires, corrupted men, and the undead. In Sigmar's 50 years of living, he had taken humanity from scared children huddled around meek campfires to a united empire that drove back the worst the world had to offer. There are many conflicting stories as to what happened to Sigmar. Some say he looked at all the good he had done for his people, that he had found his surplus of strength now coursed in the beating hearts of all his subjects. He had known the empire would last without him, and that his people would always have an emperor to look out for their well-being. With his legendary Warhammer Galmaraz in hand, Sigmar walked away from his legacy and set off east. His legacy would found a cult, and the great emperor would be deified by future generations. And now the disappointing end to my series about Sigmar and the world that was. Sigmar would return during the End Times, which is an event I may cover at a much later time, but the only thing you need to know about Sigmar during this time is confirmation that he indeed transcended to godhood. Now that you know the man he was, we will explore Sigmar, the god who floated through the vast void and found his way to the mortal realms.